Hey guys, so welcome to module 19. This is going to be the two-touch method and how to send relevant emails that people will actually open. So the contents of this module are going to be the following. What is the two-touch method and when should you use it? And then creating emails your prospects will actually open. So just before I show you how to actually use the two-touch method, you'll see in the previous module, if you forgot, just go back and rewatch it. How you get a recommendation is basically for if you are speaking to clients to give you a referral and introduction to somebody else that you're not in contact with. The two-touch method is for when you don't really know the person very well who you're asking the introduction for. So it could be that you're trying to get in contact with the owner of a larger company and you need to speak to sort of like a senior executive or somebody who's part of the company to introduce you to the higher role. So that's a two-touch method. I'm just going to show you quickly on my LinkedIn an example of this. So for example, if I wanted to, let's see, so if you want to who's viewed my profile. Say for example, I really want to get in contact with David, but I knew he was very, very busy, not very likely to respond to me. Then basically what you want to do is you want to have somebody that you have in contact. So if you have shared connections, that's when you use the two-touch method. If you don't have a shared connection, you should find that person's sort of company or agency. So for example, I would open Firstly Media, find other employees and then go through them to get to David and create that first connection, basically in between me and the person I'm trying to speak to. So in this instance, I would have this guy, and then Ariel Franklin is somebody that could be an introduction from me to David. So I would message Ariel. So all you do is you go through Sales Nav, you click message. Down here, a really cool thing that I know I've briefly touched on in previous videos, Sales Navigator actually recommends sort of icebreakers for some people. For most people, you'll have, for example, if they're active, it'll have all the content that they've shared or written or created. If they've been mentioned in the news, for example, anything that's relevant that stands up from their profile will come out here in the Sales Navigator icebreaker suggestions. With Ariel, we're both members of this group, so digital marketing, social media, search, mobile, and more. So I could basically use that as maybe an opener to Ariel. This is going to come across as just a normal message to their inbox, but it's going to be, so hey Ariel, seeing as we're both members of this group, blah, 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 and then I'll actually go onto Ariel's profile, find out something personal to insert here, generate a conversation, tell them why I'm reaching out to them in the first place, and then ask for that recommendation through to David. I might do that in sort of the first message, or I might wait to ask for an introduction later down the line once I've got a response from Ariel. But what you want to make sure you do is provide value first. That's kind of how you do it on here. I'm just going to run you through the template over here. So it's the same templates that will be underneath the previous module. So for the referring, sort of getting an introduction to somebody, that module there is the same template as this. So all you want to do is, I would send the top message to Ariel. So it'd be like, hello Ariel, follow what this template says, and then basically ask for an introduction to David, wait for them to respond. If they say yes, then you follow up using this message, and obviously always thank them for their time, etc. So that's kind of how this works. I don't need to run you guys through the template again, but that's basically how you use the two-touch method when you use it, if you have first connections in place, or when you create a first connection to get through to somebody that you want to be introduced to. So if we move forwards on to getting emails, so creating emails your prospects will actually open. The first part for this to be successful is to have an enticing headline. So if you have no mutual connections and you're reaching out to somebody VIP, so that's basically someone you regard as being an important person. This could be a high-level executive or an individual that you see as a star. It could be interpreted like globally, or it might just be that you personally see this person as somebody VIP. So it is just how you see it from your perspective. Just to quickly tell you what emails are if you don't already know this. It's what you have when you're not already connected to somebody, but you have Sales Navigator. You'll have 20 emails that are free that you can use to send messages to people that you're not yet connected to. And the point of an email is to get them to open it, see your message, and connect with you. So you tend to send emails to people that are VIP, that maybe you don't have connections with, that you could do the two-touch method with. But this is sort of when you'd use an email. After doing your profile research, you should be able to select something personal. This could be an event you both attended or something specific they have inspired you with. So maybe it's, say for example, it's an author and they wrote a book that really helped you gain more success and advance your career. You could bring that up, give them some sort of compliment that is specific to them as a person, and include it in the headline. Obviously, if you're just sort of responding to, for example, a job posting, you don't need to make this super crazy. You just need to be to the point, say what the email's about to get them to click on it. Number 2 in this is keep it to the point. So if you send an intimidatingly long message, chances are that they're going to click off it as soon as they see it. Remember to be polite, give the reason for your message, and invite them to respond. If you're not successful, so these are 3 things that you can do if you're not successful with the email that you send out. Number 1 is I would recommend trying the 2-touch method. So what we just went over earlier on in this module. Try connecting or reaching out to somebody at their company to ask for an introduction, and remember to offer something valuable before asking for a favor. So it's just the act of reciprocity. If you go asking strangers for things, it's not likely that they're going to respond because they don't see any personal gain or benefit for getting back in touch with you and helping you out. Number 2 is comment on one of their posts or articles, whether it's on their main page or within a group you're both a part of. The more they see your name, the more likely they are to check your profile and notice your message. Just a quick note on this as well. Obviously, when you send an email to somebody, before they decide if they're going to respond, I know I always check the profile. So if they've not responded, it's either that they're very busy, they've not seen it. Number 2, the message didn't really make them open it. The headline wasn't clickable enough. Number 3, it wasn't relevant or viable to them. They just aren't interested in speaking with you. Or number 4, they checked out your profile and it didn't strike them enough. Like these people, if they're VIP, if they're very, very busy, they're probably going to spend like 3-4 seconds looking at your profile. And if it doesn't sort of strike a chord with them and make them interested, they're not going to respond. So that's a quick note for that, point 2. Point 3 is send them a video audit. I'm actually going to be doing a module on video outreach later on in this course, but for now you can use a video audit. It basically provides a good headline, and it's also a good way to show that you've put in more time and effort to provide value to them. If you've recently reached out to them already, you could use something like free audit, last message I promised, ... as the headline. So if you've already sent them an email, it's not work, you could try sending them another message to follow up and sort of do a free audit for them. Go over whatever it is that your service is related to. Just say, I expect nothing in return from this. I just wanted to help you out in an exchange. I'd actually really appreciate you taking the time to recommend some books that you think I should read, or you wouldn't mind answering a few questions, for example. So that's sort of how you run through the 2-touch method when you use it, and how to create an email that your prospect will actually open. I hope you guys enjoyed this module, and I'm going to see you in the next phase of this course, which will be taking your lead generation to the next level.